Ini saya matikan mikrofon saya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hani. It is a precious chance for me to be your Master of Ceremony on this very special occasion, webinar about teaching English young learners and second learners in Germany. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who gives us guidance, happiness, healthy, and mercy, so we can participate in
hilang ini, suaranya hilang.
the Honorable Head of the UPGRIS International Office, Bapak Dr. Nur Hidayat M.Hum, and I would like to welcome Mbak Gana as our speakers today and all of our audience. On this special afternoon, we have several agendas, so allow me to read several sequence of our agendas as follows. First is opening, second is speech, the third is core event, and finally closing. Well, to shorten the time, let's start this event by saying bersama. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The first agenda is speech. The speech will be delivered by Budiman as the head of UPGRIS. So, for Budiman, time is yours.
Sebentar, tak ganti nama. Cek sebentar, teks kuning kan nih. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dimas Budiman. First of all, on behalf of all the organizer, I would like to say thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for all the organizer that has helped me and everyone, Gana and Mrs. Gana and Dr. Nur to conduct this event. So this event is attended by more than 153 participants, and it's a lot more than what we thought it would be. That is very, very great and awesome, and I really thanks to all the organizer. Thank you for the Universe UPGRIS that has helped us again. Thank you again. Thank you very much. That has helped us with a very limited time and limited resources. It's a really great job for all of you. So without further ado, I think we should start it right now. And once more, thank you very much for everyone that has come to this webinar. And I hope we can learn a lot from this. And yeah, let's just start this webinar. So back to, thank you.
Okay, thank you Budiman for the speech. The next agenda is speech and opening of the head of UPGRIS International Office, Bapak Nur Hidayat. Time is yours.
Thank you very much for the Master of Ceremony. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yeah. First of all, I would like, on behalf of the International Office of Universitas PGRI Semarang, to firstly thank to Mbak Gagana for your time and your patience and also your patience. Helping us to empower our students with your knowledge and experience, and continuously inspiring our students here at UPGRIS. Yeah. Hopefully, there will be some other Mbak Gagana, yeah, having the same experience, yeah, and also links in European countries and European Indonesian ambassadors. Yeah, like to say to you a little, especially to the participants, that the speaker today, Mbak Gagana, used to be also our students, graduating from. It was UPGRIS Semarang at that time, and then he was married to. Yeah, German husband, but not so many English graduate has been living abroad, has been such a successful woman like Mbak Gagana. Yeah, some our former students are married to foreigners and living in foreign countries, but there's not been our graduate who has been very successful in promoting Indonesia, Indonesian cultures, and bringing Indonesia into a wider scope in European countries. And we are really proud of Mbak Gagana here. And then what we really thank is that Mbak Gaganawati still always remember UPGRI Semarang UPGRIS, and many times has been coming to our university for visit, yeah, for lectures, for exhibitions, and some other activities. And he has been arranging some programs that will be conducted together with the International Office of PGRI Semarang for further programs and collaborations. Hopefully, Mbak Gagana will connect us to European institutions so that we have more and more collaborations. And I would like also to thank the organizing committee who has been conducting this program very well, and to inform you, to all the participants of this web, that International Office of UPGRIS Universitas PGRI Semarang has a group of a volunteer called Universe. And Udim is the chief of the Universe, yeah. And we always recruit more and more Universe members to have more experience conducting international program. Yeah, we have many international programs, mostly on students' mobility. We send students abroad, and we also receive students from foreign countries doing many activities in our university, like students' internship, student teaching practice at school in Semarang, and some other programs, but mostly on students' mobility and lecturers' mobility, as well as a program which is intended to introduce foreign students to know more about Indonesian cultures. Yeah. So again, I would like to thank you, the organizing committee, led by Budiman and friends, who has been arranging this program very well. And then, of course, I would also like to thank to all the participants attending this webinar. Yeah, they might be students from UPGRIS, but I believe there's some other participants of this webinar comes also from teaching or educational practitioners, maybe teachers, and those who are interested in things dealing with teaching and education. So again, I would like to thank you for all your participants and coming. And if we look at the topic or the theme of this webinar, teaching English to young learners and senior learners in Germany, I think that this topic is very interesting, right? Teaching, in my opinion, is not a matter of doing all the so-called perangkat pembelajaran in Indonesia, right? So all the things you prepare before teaching, and then the process of teaching itself, like the method used, the approach used, and then how you organize teaching classes at school, how the evaluation is conducted, and all those things has been, I think, a common knowledge to teachers or to students of English departments or those who study at the education department. But teaching students of different countries is something more interesting than that, yeah, because it deals with the so-called teaching across culture. So this is something which is very important for you to know, that teaching also deal with some other aspects more than what I have already mentioned before. Knowing teaching in cross-cultural context, yeah. How Mbak Gagana probably will deal with students or senior students from a different culture, with a different values, with different standard of curriculum set by the German government. And yeah, students' habit, probably students' discipline that might be different from Indonesian students also. All the values shared by people in Germany that will, of course, represents what the students is like, that Mbak Gagana will deal when she's teaching at school. So this is what is most interesting for today's webinar. So I hope that all the participants of this webinar will benefit much from Mbak Gagana presentation. Yeah. And again, I would like to say thank you for all your coming. And again, on behalf of the university and the International Office of UPGRIS, I would like to again specifically thank to Mbak Gagana. Please, Mbak Gagana, don't stop inspiring us. Yeah, don't stop sharing all your experiences, your expertise to our students. I'm very happy to see young generations growing up with better competence and better skill and also better knowledge. Yeah. So by doing this, we hope that we have a better future for our generation. Yeah. Well, I think that's all what I could say as the head of the International Office of UPGRIS. And by this, I'm officially I officially open this webinar by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This webinar program is officially open. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi
for the speech. So stepping on the next agenda, the rules during the webinar will be delivered by Zalfa. Zalfa, time is yours.
Thank you, Hani. So I will read the rules. Please listen carefully. Tata tertib webinar yaitu 1. host sebagai pemandu dan moderator sebagai pengatur jalannya acara. 2. Pada saat acara berlangsung, peserta dimohon mematikan fitur audionya atau mute. 3. Peserta diwajibkan mengaktifkan fitur kamera. 4. Peserta dilarang membuat gaduh saat acara berlangsung. 5. Peserta yang ingin bertanya bisa menyampaikan pertanyaannya melalui fitur Raise Hand pada Zoom. Jika sudah dipersilakan oleh host, peserta boleh menyampaikan pertanyaan. 6. Peserta yang melanggar akan diperingatkan 2 kali. Setelahnya akan dikeluarkan dari room. Tata tertib setelah saya bacakan. Next, saya kembalikan lagi kepada Hani. Silakan Hani.
Thank you, Silva, for the rules. Well, ladies and gentlemen, finally we arrived at the end of the opening ceremony. As the host, me and my friend Zalfa would like to thank you and let us close this opening ceremony with saying Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. For the next session, I leave it to the moderator Zandrio to organize this event. From the bottom of our hearts, we as the webinar event organizer apologize if there are any mistakes during the webinar event today. For your attention, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Zandrio, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the master ceremony for handling the event. Thank you very much for the opening as well. So, first of all, I would like to remind you, saya mau mengingatkan ke semuanya mohon untuk mematikan fitur audionya terlebih dahulu. Fitur audio bisa dinyalakan nanti setelah bagian sesi tanya jawab dimulai. Mohon ini untuk saudara Irfan Maulana, tolong mic-nya tuh dimatikan terlebih dahulu. Terima kasih. Okay, without further ado, let's start our event. First of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Good morning for Mbak Gana, and good afternoon for everyone, for the participants who are willing to spend their time, especially right now in the midst of pandemic.
UPGRIS, for example, first of all, you need to speak German. Without German, you are nothing here in Germany. If you're traveling, it's okay, but to work, to study, first of all, you need to speak German. And German is quite difficult. The grammar is, I don't know how can I explain, but it's quite different to Bahasa Indonesia or English, for example. And you need to prove it with your certificate, for example, from Kote Institute in Jakarta, or maybe in, I don't know, in Surabaya, I don't know. And you need to bring your copy of your transcript and your certificates from UPGRIS, for example, and translate it into German language. This is the things that you cannot forget it, or you should not forget it. And then you need to send the application in German language, and please use your CV with Lebenslauf. This is Lebenslauf is the Daftar Riwayat Hidup, or the CV in German language, so not in English language. And then you can have a look at the job vacancy in a magazine or newspapers or poster, wherever. And I think even if German, you know, people say like a modern country, but we still have the vitamin B. We call it vitamin B because B means Beziehung or connection. If you have connection in Germany, it will be easier for you to apply a job. That is the reality, even if here is modern. And then another way is that you can apply directly. You can go to the office and send it to the person in charge, maybe the chief or the HRD, the human resource, and perhaps they will think about your application. The next page, please. And the question, it was not only about how was your experience teaching English, for example, but also about how is it in Germany and how do you like children? Do you like more children, teaching children, young learners, or do you like more adult or senior learners, for example, because they would like to post you in the right place, class for kids or class for adult or class for senior learners, for example. And you need to think about how will you teach your students. Which book do you like to use? For example, here we have so many books like Cornelsen, Hathaway, Langenscheld, or whatever. So you need to discuss it during the interview. The next. Icebreaker. Now, I believe that most of you have handies, mobile phone. Please try to type www.learningapps.org and try to find tools. There is what you call that, a quiz with 5 questions. I think it's easy because I tried last night. Have you tried it?
I think most of us haven't tried it yet.
Okay, www.learningapps.org. I will try also because it's like a short break for me and for everyone, because listening to Ghana maybe a little bit bored and need something else to see or to do. So I guess this is good for the break. So I type tools.
Oke, untuk teman-teman bisa ngetik www.learningapps.org. Di situ nanti ada permainan, nanti akan di-read sama Mbak Gana. Tolong ya teman-teman ya.
Okay, teaching, maybe it doesn't work. Teaching English for kids. I don't know why it doesn't work. Last night it worked. Anyone? Okay, you need to type teaching English for kids, because with tools, keyword doesn't work. And then after teaching English for kids, then type tools. Doesn't work. No. Okay, come back to teaching English and then try to have a look the tools. Where is it? It's a small. Doesn't work. Does anyone try it already? Last night it worked. Okay, teaching English for kids and then tools.
Mungkin bisa dibantu Mbak ini biar buat yang lain juga tutorial.
Okay, it doesn't work. Forget it. Maybe some of you already try it. It works. Maybe not. Because there you can guess which tool is it. For example, screwdriver, or this is scissor or knife or whatever. But it doesn't look, it's okay. So we come back to the PowerPoint anyway. I tried last night, it worked, but I don't know why this time it doesn't work. Maybe the internet connection is not really good today. So can you please come back to the PowerPoint? Genau, good. Okay, and we were on the page of 7. Page 7, please. So those who like to learn English more, you can use www.learningapps.org at home, because there are a lot of questions, a lot of quiz or your students. Now, and disadvantages teaching English. Those children, they are elementary school, or they were elementary school until senior high school students. So the level was different to the senior learners. They learned more than the senior learners, but they, I don't know, somehow they didn't have any concentration or any ability to remember the grammatic, you know, even if the basic one about simple present, it was not easy for them to remember. And it's always mixed up with simple past or present progressive or whatever. And the course itself, it was cheap because they make it in a group. For example, one group 5 children, and they had like 1 hour. 1 hour means 45 minutes. It was good for me too, because I need to speak German here in Germany. And then with them, I spoke English. So my English trained or drilled, it was good. And also made my creativity more and more, or better and better. For example, using a postcard and calendar, or vocabulary cards, or whatever, or even the videos. But it was also sometimes not easy when, for example, some of them had difficulties about the grammar, so I need to go to him, for example. But then the other children, they needed my my present, for example, to tell them about how is it and how was that. So 45 minutes was good for me, but not good for them, because 45 minutes divided into 5 is, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes each. So it was not really enough. And teaching young learners in Germany was a little bit difficult for me. This was like a stress, because the parents, they want the guarantee that the mark, the note, or whatever in the report will be changed, for example, from 4 to 2 or from 4 to 3. And I was not a magician, I was not a teacher, I was only the helper in English in this learning center. So if they need to change the mark, for example, so they need to ask the teacher at school, not me, right? And some of them, they were lazy to study English, the grammar and so on, or the vocabulary, for example. So it didn't work. And some of them, they were not, what you call that? They didn't enjoy the course. They wanted to go home earlier. So sometimes it was not easy for me. Next. The advantages and disadvantages teaching English for senior learners. I love to teach them because how long was that? Maybe like 6 years. So until July 2020. Because teaching them for me was safe because they were a beginner. So my level was also okay. And they had respect to me, even if I am a foreigner. I'm not a native speaker. And I'm small, of course. So they had respect. And the time was a little bit longer, 45 minutes times 2. So it was like 90 minutes. And the senior learners, they are very diligent. They like to learn a lot. They learn in the car, they learn in the forest, they learn at home, they learn in the class. So never ending learning. So they have the will, they have the motivation to learn more. And then they practice their English when they travel abroad, for example, to Spain, to America, to England. And of course, it's good for them and it's good for me, because then the English is growing. It's not only stuck, because they also learn from the travel in America, for example, or why the people in America are using mobile phone or the cell phone or whatever like that. So it's also good information for me, because they will also tell me how was that the travel and how was the language different, the English language different. And sometimes I put many information about Indonesia, and it was also accepted by them, because they said, oh, it's beautiful Indonesia, thank you that you tell us about Indonesia, the culture, the people, and also the language, the Bahasa Indonesia, for example. But it was not easy to teach them the grammatic, because they always forgot it. In paper, they will remember it, but then if they speaking English, for example, they will forget it, just like me, for example. And sometimes I also forget the grammar itself. And teaching English for senior learners is not only teaching English. We had many times, what you call that, a little bit party in the pub or in a restaurant. So we eat together and speaking English and sharing about information about the travel and so on. And I said, oh no, if I eat a lot, I will be fat, somehow like that, because I like to drink a lot, but not to eat a lot. Next page, please. I think soon will be in the end. Okay, and this is the main thing that I want to share with you. So the mistakes of the German people in learning English. First of all, the grammar, just like Indonesian people, sometimes it's hard to make a difference between is this a simple present, or is this simple past tense, or is this a present progressive, something like that. And then the writing, for example, they write active, but they write only active without E, because in German, we write it with active. So active without E. And for them, for and since are the same, means seit. So if they want to say, ich liebte dieses Mädchen seit 3 Jahren, they will write it, I have loved this girl since 10 years. But the right, oh, I didn't put right in it. So the right sentence is, I have loved this girl for 3 years. And since means seit in German. So they write it like that. I have loved this girl since 10 years. And then next is error in using ago. For example, they want to say, mein Vater kaufte das Auto vor 2 Jahren. Then they translate it, my father bought the car for 2 years. But the right sentence in English is, my father bought the car 2 years ago. Because in German, for in English means for, mit V. So that is why they use for, not ago. Next page, please. And if you have question, you can just write down in the chat room. So it will be easier for me and for the moderator, for example, to read it. And the next mistake is how to pronounce. For example, bus, bus. They say bus because in German, we read it A or A. Yeah. So In English, for example, we need to, or we have to read it with A. For example, butterfly, buffet, bucket, or buy. But then in German, we read it butterfly, buffet, bouquet, and boy, or a bus, because you in German is A or A. And then the next is how to write. German, we have Nomen or nominal. We always write it in capital. So a bus, because actually in English or in Bahasa Indonesia, we don't put capital in it. Bus with a small, not with a capital. But they write it, I drive a bus with a capital B. Of course, in English, we always use this. We always use B, small b, not a capital B. And then ago, I had already told you this is doubled. And then elliptical error. For example, the missing verb. What you call that? The verb is missing. For example, because they like to translate it word for word. They want to say, ich kann English. Und dann, they say it in English, I can English. But because this is the translation, word for word translation. Ich kann English, I can English. But actually, we need to write it, I can speak English. So the speak is missing as the verb, because in German it's like that. So they like to adapt to the German grammar. And the last one is the reflexive error. Because of the grammar in German, for example, they want to say, wann sollen wir uns treffen? They translate it into English, when shall we meet us again? But actually the right sentence in English is, when shall we meet again? So we don't need us, because in German we have reflexive pronouns. For example, ich mir, du dich, sie sie sich, wir uns und ihr euch oder sie sich. For example, in English or in Bahasa Indonesia, we don't have like that. For example, like saya, Anda, mereka, kami, kamu, Anda. So we don't have the double. Ich, mir, du, dich, sie, sich, wir, uns, ihr, euch, sie, sich. Or in English, for example, you just say you, I, they, we, she, or he, or it. So we don't need the double reflexive pronouns. So that's all about the mistakes I found. Actually, we have a lot. I found it, but I think the time is very, very limited in 30 minutes. So I just put some examples of the mistakes. The next page, please. So how did I teach English? As I told you, I use the book Easy English from Cornelson. It was very easy for me and for the student, of course, because they have the CD, they have the DVD in it, they have the phrase book, the small book with the CD, where we can, you know, like a little bit learning about the phonetic, how to pronounce it. And the book I used was A1.1, A1.2, A2.1, and A2.2. And we still have the B, we still have the C, but the time was not enough. So I did A1.1 to A2.2 in 5 years. It was quite long because I wanted to make it slowly, because they were like senior learners. So it's different if I teach young learners or senior learners. The what you call that, the frequency or the way I teach is also different. So I need to make relax a little bit for the young learners, and I need to make it quicker to the young learners, like from senior high school, for example. And I used electronic board, like at UPGRIS, for example. And the opening was like 30 minutes easy conversation, so free conversation with them, and then 55 minutes with them using the book, for listening, for reading, for finishing exercises, correcting the exercise, watching video. So this was the lesson, 55-minute lesson. And then the 5 minutes was for phonetic, because then they can repeat what from the CD, for example. There was a speaker, the native speaker from England, for example, better than I read it and they repeat it. So it was better that they use this phonetic book using the CD. And then before they went home, I gave them the homework, of course, to write a page of writing, for example, about Christmas, about Easter, about their hobby or whatever. And later in the next week, then I gave them back, and I didn't forget to put, for example, the note, oh, perfect, oh, great, oh, well done, or whatever, that they could be motivated to write more in English, for example. Next. So almost finished. So those who are interested to fly to Germany, to study, to marry, to whatever do you want to do there in Germany, you can read my book, Exploring Germany. It's about how can you explore Germany? How can you travel around Germany? How much does it cost the tickets, for example? And which place can you visit? And for the Unbelievable Germany, you can learn about the culture. How is it, for example, if you visit a family in Germany? Do you need to put off your shoes or not? Or what kind of present can you bring? For example, you don't bring what you call that, the biscuit. Like in Indonesia, you bring biscuit, you bring fruits or whatever. But here, I suggest you to bring flowers or wine, a bottle of wine, because it's very common here. And if, for example, you want to visit your new neighbor, you can bring them bread and salt, because they believe that this will bring what you call that, the family life better in the future, because people in Germany, they eat bread, and salt here is just like a gold. And then the last book is about Banyak Cara Menuju Jerman. This is for you who would like to go to Germany as au pair Mädchen, you know, like babysitter, but a little bit different, because you will be sent to school in the same time in 1 year. And then if you want to join FSJ, this is voluntary service for 1 year. So you will get like, I think 5 million rupiah in a month. And for the au pair Mädchen, you will get like 3 million, 4 million in a month. This is your pocket money. Or if you want to go to study there, how is it? What should you do? What should you prepare? And how is it looking job in Germany? Or how is it the preparation before marry someone in Germany? So everything is in here in this book. So you can read it yourself and prepare your dream to go to Germany in 1 year, in 5 years, I don't know. But this is, I think, useful for everyone can read. And many sources are there, because, you know, like young people who joined the OPM work or marry with German, they told us about the stories about how was that until they reached the dream. So that's all about my presentation today. I say thank you very much for you who pay attention to my presentation, and of course take your time, maybe like more than 30 minutes now. Some of you already wrote your question. I think you sent me private, so I will send it to all to make the copy. So time is yours to moderator Purbo. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Okay, that was a very wonderful presentation from Mbak Gana, and what a wonderful experiences. And we all know that this session is already a Q&A session. So for those who are having some questions to be asked to Mbak Gana, you can type it in the chat box, and we'll later on replace it into the PowerPoint and share it to you. Jadi sekarang itu waktunya question and answer ya, tanya jawab ya. Jadi yang mau tanya silahkan bisa chat di chat box Zoom. Nanti chatnya itu bakal di copy paste ke PowerPoint dan di share screen. Dan ini ada satu pertanyaan Mbak Gana dari Mbak Fitri, Bu Fitri, mohon maaf, kebetulan Bu Fitri juga dosen saya. Halo Bu Fitri, mohon maaf tadi kesalahan. Nah, pertanyaannya juga menarik. Bagaimanakah cara mengajarkan grammar pada anak usia TK atau SD, mengingat secara fungsinya bahasa Inggris masih menjadi bahasa asing dan bahasa ketiga di Indonesia? Silakan.
Okay, I think teaching English for young learners like kindergarten or elementary school, my experience was in kindergarten, and now I'm still a teacher of kindergarten in Germany. So I think grammar, I didn't teach grammar at all. So I just teach them the vocabularies and the songs. And I guess through the song, we can teach them the grammar because the song itself. So 1 and 1, I love my mother. So I love my mother is like simple present tense. So they learn it at once, even if we didn't tell them, okay, simple present tense is using every day because and we need to put subject and verb and object afterwards. It's not like that, but using songs, I think it's a good way for the elementary school, for the kindergarten. But for elementary school is different because they have already the book. So we need to follow the book because I think each country or every elementary school, they have their own book. For example, elementary school 1, they use Cornelsen. And then elementary school 2, they use Hathaway book. So they have their own decision which book is good for the children, for the students, for example. And I don't have any experience in elementary school, but I think at the learning center, I helped them to learn English at the time, the learning center in Bimble. I just follow the book they used. So I cannot say a lot about this one, but I can say a lot about the kindergarten level, that, for example, using songs is the best. Because as I told you, 1 and 1, I love my mother. So this was simple present. Or what else? I forgot about the song. Are you sleeping? This is present progressive. Because present progressive is now, but still going on. It's not yet finished. So through this "Are You Sleeping" song, they directly learned about simple progressive. Even we didn't tell, okay, simple present is subject and then to be, and then we need to put verb with the ing. We didn't say like that. We just say, "Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping?" That means this is simple present progressive, different to simple present with "I love my mother," one and one "I love my mother" song. So I just can answer the question about how to teach English to kindergarten and to elementary school.
Okay, that was a wonderful explanation. I hope that Ma'am Fitri could accept the answer. Is that acceptable, ma'am?
Thank you. Yes,
Okay. So
yeah, really helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Arul.
okay.
Thank you, Mbak Gana. Speakernya sepertinya mati ya? Mbak Gana?
Yeah,
Mute sendiri.
yeah, I think now it's okay. I just
Yeah,
switch it off.
okay.
Okay, there is also a second question that was sent to Mbak Gana privately. So this person was asking that does the term, what was that? Hold on. Does the term senior learner refer to the same place term adult learner?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the question sent to you privately. I don't know.
Yeah, this is from Pak Supriyadi. Oh, Pak Supriyadi wanted to say hi. I think he was my classmate at PPS UNES. It's been ages that I haven't seen.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, hello.
Remember me?
Yes, of course. Do you still remember me?
Oh, of course.
The one who's always sitting in the
You're still
corner.
young, but I have been old.
Yeah, but forever young inside.
I will be retired in 22.
Okay, so you have a lot of
2022.
time.
I have been 63 now.
Okay,
Okay.
good. You said you have questions after 30 minutes presentation.
Well, my questions, there are two my questions. The first is, what are the criteria to be called young learners? And then, is the term, or that's the term, old senior learners, I mean, refer to the same as adult learners.
Mm-hmm.
These are my two questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Pri. Nice to see you again. It's amazing using Zoom. We can meet many people all over the world, even the people we haven't seen so long time. Okay, so I will answer the first question is about the criteria. In Germany itself, the senior learners starting 60 years old. So those who are in the range age of 60 years, they are inside this group. So they are called as senior learners. I don't know how is it in Indonesia, if they call senior or still adult with 60, because they are not retired yet. Maybe Pak Nur later on can add more information about this one, Dr. Nur Hidayat. And the second is about, does the term senior learner refers to the same place term adult learner? I think in Germany, adult learner is those above 18. So those above 18 until 60, they are adult learner. And after 60, they are senior learners. I don't know how is it they define it in England or America or in Indonesia, for example, because those countries, they have their own criteria, how to call the people. They are old enough, they're still young, or they are already senior, for example. So maybe Dek Purpo, the Samtri of Purpo, you can ask Pak Nur, you can maybe the video to Pak Nur and the microphone to Pak Nur, please switch it on. Maybe Pak Nur can add more. So this was in my point of view, because I live in Germany with the German definition, but maybe it's different in Indonesia or in other countries, for example.
Okay, yeah, for Mr. Nur, I think you have been called to help her because she doesn't know about the criteria about adult or the senior learner here in Indonesia. Maybe you can help her, sir.
Pak Nur, you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I don't see you. Now. Okay, good. So Pak Nur, it was my answer to situation here in maybe your point of, because you've in Indonesia.
Yeah. What was the question?
What are the criteria of senior learners? Because in Germany, the criteria is if you are above 60 years old and the adult learner is above 18 until 60. So I don't know how we call it, young learner, senior learner, adult learner.
Yeah, maybe in Indonesia, people are not very familiar with the so-called senior learner. I think even I myself, I'm not very familiar with the so-called young learner, and old learner. Yeah, in our neighboring countries, we are used to non-explanations about the so-called senior learners. Those called the senior learners, I think the same as what Gagana mentions, those age at least 60, 60 and above. But such term in Indonesia is not also quite familiar, and then people are not accustomed to listening to that kind of distinctions between young learners and senior learners, young citizens and senior citizens. Maybe Indonesian do not make culturally we have different conditions in which people age more than 60 do not go back to, let's say, educational institution. I mean, the study habit in Indonesia and in European countries and also in Germany might be different. Yeah, I think it's rare situations that people consider to be senior learners begin to have another study of different interests, for example. It's not quite common in Indonesia. This is to my knowledge. Yeah, maybe some other know better than I do and could give an explanations. Yeah, that's the fact. Yeah, that's the fact. So we are talking about two cultural differences. And this is actually what I would like to ask Mbak Gagana. As I said before, that what is interesting is that teaching language or teaching foreign language to foreign students, we will deal, of course, with cultural differences. And then what kind of cultural differences do you have with your German students, and how do you cope with cultural differences problems? That might be very interesting for all the participants of this webinar to know about it.
Okay, so I didn't realize the difference because I just enjoy it. And my students were from all over countries. So they were from Poland, they were from Russia, they were from Germany, or they were from Kazakhstan, but they live in Germany. So I don't know how was that in the case of culture different. We just talk about so many cultures inside, but I guess there was no different in teaching English, for example.
For
But maybe,
example, something dealing with discipline, for example. You think it's easier for you to handle German students than Indonesian students because they might be already been used to queuing. They might have been used to be coming on time, and so in terms of handling German students in the classroom activities and Indonesian students doing activities in the classroom. So how would you find the differences?
okay.
Yeah, that's just an example.
I haven't taught senior students in Indonesia, so maybe it was also not easy for me. But you're right about the time, about on time. They always maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the class beginning, they were already there. So this is just like their culture of German people, even if the people came from different countries, as I told you, Kazakhstan, Russia, Poland, or wherever. So they already follow the culture of German people. If you want to attend to an occasion or you have an appointment, then you need to be on time. You can't be late, for example. And for the student, the young learners, maybe I miss or I cannot see the respect because maybe the way people here to educate children is different, you know, that parents is above and children is down, but here is all together in one level. So so the respect to me or the respect to the older people is not like in Indonesia, for example. And sometimes the people, they doubt, you know, not the young learners, the senior learners for the very first time entered into my classroom. They thought that I was also the student of the English because I'm small and also look like foreigner, not like a native speaker from England or with the blonde hair or whatever. So they thought I was also the student. So they thought that I was not the teacher. They thought, are you really a teacher? But during the time I teach the English and they said, yes, you are my teacher and I know you can teach us English. So it was the matter of the performance that you are not an English people. You are not look like a person who can speak English, but you like to teach English. So it was also in the beginning was difficult for me and for the students. But after years, they realized, please don't go Ghana, teach us English. But I said, no, I want to continue my future. I need to continue my study so I can work at kindergarten. So like in PGTK, I don't know how long is it, does it take to graduate from PGTK, Pak Nur? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, I think the same for bachelor degree. Yeah, 4 years at least.
4 years for PGTK.
Yeah.
Okay, so for us it's also 3 years, but we have the mixed dual system program, means that we work in kindergarten, at kindergarten, and then we go to school. So 3 days school and 2 days working. So it was, and we got money from that. And this is good for me because I'm already old enough to go to school. So they give money like 17 million per month. This is not a salary. This is only Vergütung in German, we call it. So this is just like the what you call that, education fee or support fee or whatever they call it. So I think it's good, but I think it's not common in Indonesia that if you go to school and then you go to work, you get money for that, except in SMK, I think. SMK, STM, they have the magang, so they get money from that. But here, people or young people who are already graduated from senior high school, they can join this one. And those who are bachelor, they can also join this program. So this program is good for you. Next time I will share how Indonesian people can apply this program, because the program is not only teaching in kindergarten, for example, but also like voluntary service on, and as a nurse, for example, in the hospital, or working in a company, working as techniker in an office, something like that. So we have many programs in Ausbildung. So the point is, you can go to work and you can go to school to make your education the same level like German people here. So next time I will share about that one. And come back to Pa Supriyadi. I hope the answer from Pa Nur, Dr. Nur, will make you satisfied, because as I told you that have a problem with the Zoom? No? Now it's okay?
I think there is technical
Okay,
difficulties here.
so I think like Pa Nur said that senior learner is not common in Indonesia, but really common here in Germany. I told you, I tell you that German people, after they are retired, or before retired, they already prepare to have some activities that, okay, I won't stay every day at home. I won't stay in front of my window looking someone passing by, or taking care of my house, or looking after my grandchildren, or anything else. So they want to be active even if they are already old enough. So this is different between the people in Germany and the people in Indonesia. The people in Indonesia, I think, when they are old, they already grandfather, grandmother, retire from job, they would like to enjoy their life. The people, the old people, senior people in Germany, if they are old, they want to travel around the world. They want to learn a lot of things that they have missed in the young time. For example, computer, iPhone, languages. They learn not only English language, they learn French, they learn Spanish, they learn any language. They are eager to learn more. So this is the difference. So that is why there is a term of senior learners. I think so, like that.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Now, I think that was a great question as well, but there are a lot of interesting questions actually, and this is the third one. And the third one is, her name is literally Happy,
Okay.
and she basically asks about the tips and tricks of how to teach the senior learner.
Okay. So for the adult learner or for senior learners? Senior, for me, this is old people, and for adult, this is young people. So above 18 years old, senior high school students. So both, I think we need to be patient, because if you teach people and they don't understand, this will make you angry. And you don't have enough time for that. For example, this is only 45 minutes in a week, once in a week. So sometimes you have a feeling like, why they didn't understand about what I'm talking about? I already did many times, still don't understand about it. So first of all, you need to be patient. And then you need to be, second, you need to be creative. If they cannot understand you when you explain it, You can use the cards, you can use the calendar, you can use the video, film, for example. Film is good for you, the short film. And it depends on what kind of material, what kind of facilities do you have in your classroom. CD player, you don't have the DVD players, you don't have the electronic screen, so you need to be creative. What should you use? Another material, for example, the cards, as I told you. So I think those 2 tips from me, I hope can help you. So to be patient and to be creative. And of course, you need to ask the feedback to your students if you are good or not, or you need to change your method to teach English. So you need to talk to them.
Okay, so the key for teaching adult learners and the senior learners is basically 2 keys. They are patience and creativity, basically that. Okay, so I hope that answer your question, Miss Happy. And let's move on to the 4th question. It's from Endang Nadia Lestari. Now she asked to you about how you conduct your teaching in this pandemic time.
Okay, I love children. I think I started already in 1998 teaching English for young learners. Now in Germany, I don't teach English, so I'm only regular kindergarten teacher. Perhaps if I will be finished in 3 years, they will conduct me as the English teacher there, because this is a new program. And we have like 7 children in a group. 2 of them are babies, so 10 months until 1 year old. So can you imagine the job in kindergarten? It's not like in the kindergarten in Indonesia like I had before. So I just teaching them. I just giving them information, playing with them. But here now, I have many jobs. I have to change diapers. I have to change the clothes. I have to send them to bed. I have to accompany them in the toilets. I have to prepare for the food because they have 3 times food, the meals. So morning breakfast, and then in the afternoon we have the snack time, and then before they go, no, the lunch, and then the snack time. So we have 3 time meals. So and afterwards I need to clean the kitchen. So my job are a lot. So it's not like teaching kindergarten children in Indonesia. It's quite different because in Germany we have so many seniors, so many old people. So the pyramid is just like that, not like that. So too many old people. So that is why we need to find many people who will pay the tax. So the parents, they need to work. If the parents, the mothers, for example, need to go to work, means that the children, the babies, they will send to kindergarten. So the babies. So it's not 5 years old, 4 years old children, but babies, like 10 years, 11 months, 10 months, 11 months, 1 year. So they will send it already to kindergarten. So we need to take care of them very much because they are not yet independent like 4, 5 years old children. So it's quite different if you ask me about kindergarten. And during the pandemic, I need to wear my mask. So masker, because we have a risk, a high risk, because let's say the children, especially babies, they think they can have the virus, they bring the virus, but they are okay because nothing happened. But me, like 44 years old, I'm in the high risk group, like old people, the senior people, or those who have like cancer or diabetic or whatever. So I need to wear my mask 8 hours a day. This is just like when I go to school in the classroom, I need to wear my mask 8 hours a day because, you know, German people, they're really concerned about the corona outbreak, and they see that the growing of the total, the number of the patient, the patient, the infected people, it's bigger now, it's higher now. So I think they have restricted rule that you have to wear the mask, or you need to pay like 50 euros, 700,000 rupiah, for example. If not, then the number of the infected people will be higher and higher. Now we have the restriction that we can meet with the family, only 2 families in one house. And this is only for 5 people. This is different to Indonesian rules. For example, you can meet any people, you can make program with many people. And for example, here, restaurants are already closed. I don't know how is it in Indonesia. And only schools and kindergarten are open. Some offices are closed. Some hospitals are very restricted. Only those who are really need to go to hospital. And many surgery operation are canceled because many people need to go to hospital because of the corona. And those who want to get the operation need to be delayed in a couple of months or even in 1 year. I think that's all about teaching English in Germany and or about kindergarten during the pandemic.
Okay,
And
thank you.
question
And
is
then,
from Winnie.
so tadi dijelaskan, mungkin ini sedikit penjelasan pakai bahasa Indonesia ya soal yang pandemik tadi. Jadi tugasnya Mbak Gana di Jerman itu untuk mengajar di TK itu tidak hanya untuk mengajarkan materi-materi, tetapi secara tidak langsung untuk menjadi orang tua mereka, mengurus mereka. Bahkan bayi pun juga dititipkan ke kindergarten yang tadi. Dan untuk metode yang dilakukan Mbak Gana di masa pandemik yang kayak gini, seperti sekarang itu, beliau masih tetap datang ke kindergarten, tapi masih mengikuti protokol kesehatan yang dijalankan di sana. Menggunakan masker 8 jam satu hari, dan hanya dibatasi untuk bertemu kurang lebih 2 keluarga saja ya Mbak Gana ya?
That's right.
So I think that is the answer. So I hope that Nanda, if I'm not mistaken, that you can learn a lot from that answer. Now let's move on to the 5th question. This one is from Bu Wieni. I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. Now she asks, how long is the term to teach with songs as the materials based on your experience? Maybe she's asking about the time allocation, I think.
Okay, it was only 1 hour in a week, once in a week, 1 hour. So it was only on Saturday and only 1 hour. And we teach them not only the song, we teach them also the vocabularies. We're using, for example, the apple from plastic, or the orange from plastic, the banana from plastic, or the real banana, for example. And we teach them, we call it this banana, we call this apple, we call this orange, we call this table, or whatever. And then for the song itself, I will take maybe maximum like 30 minutes, so half an hour. And we will continue, we will repeat the song again and again. I will teach the song, I will show them first, and then we will do it together. And I will ask sometimes one child to sing the song herself. And then we can repeat again together. And this repetition is good because they will remember. It's not only 1-2 times, maybe like in 30 minutes, we did like 10 times. And of course, it's not only singing, we need to move our body because children, I think they like to be very active. So during the singing, we can move our body. For example, we put like that, we put like that, so that the children will remember. If I move like that means, oh, this is this using, for example, I love or whatever. Or for example, like that means overall. So when you say overall, we can put the sign like that with our hands. Or for example, if we have the song like eyes and we just point at our eyes, something like that. So singing and moving. This is also good for the children, the small children. But for the adult people, it's quite different. For the senior, I have also some songs, for example, from the Beatles or from the Bee Gees, for example, because the songs are good, are popular in their area, in the era. And it's easy to pronounce because usually from Bee Gees or from Beatles, the song, the sentence are very short. It's not like nowadays, if you see from Lady Gaga or from other band, for example, they put so many, so long, you know, the sentence is longer than the old songs, for example, and they put also the colloquial, the slang language like that. Yeah.
Have
So
you,
guess,
have you ever taught the senior
yes.
student a song entitled "When I'm 64" by the Beatles?
Yeah, I did, and they love it. And they love it. For example, from John Lennon, for example, and because this song is very common to their time, you know, it's like memory. So it helps them to remember, to remind them to the old memory, and vice versa. They learn the language through the song, and the text is not so long.
It's supposed to be their most favorite songs. Yeah, when I'm 64.
When I'm 64. Okay, it's like in 20 years for me. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, yeah, there are many good songs from the Bee Gees and from the Beatles, and they like it, and I think it's good for them to learn language through the song because it's not complicated like modern song like nowadays around. I think that's all, Buwini. So
Yes.
it depends. You will, yeah, you will teach the song for adult or senior or for the children. If you want to teach with the children, so you need to a little bit more attractive with the moving, with the dancing. And for adult, we didn't do that because we just sit down and tell about the memory, how was their feeling if they listen to this song and how they understand the song, because the song is very short in sentence, you know.
But
and thank you for joining us, Buvini.
Yeah, but I want to ask you, if we
Yeah.
teach song, but sometimes the student doesn't like the song, how about it? You try to push them?
No, in Germany, we are restricted not to push children.
Okay.
For example, like in kindergarten or in elementary school, because maybe the law here is quite different to Indonesia. Until 18, you are really protected by the country that you should not push the children to do anything if they don't like to. So this is different, yeah.
So you have to try to find other singer, other way to teach them.
No, just teach this song, because for example you have 10 students, 10
Yeah.
children, 2 of them they don't like it, so just continue, because the other 8 they love it. I believe through the times the other 2 will follow the 8 children, because they see, this is interesting. My friends, they enjoy, they follow, they enjoy the song. Why not I try it myself? Because I tried like 2 weeks ago. Now this week I am in quarantine because 3 friends of mine infected by corona. So all of the students in our class need to be at home. So homeschooling. And 2 weeks ago, I teach, what kind of song was that? German song, using Anklung. One of them didn't like it. I just let her with her choice. And then in 5 minutes, she joined the song and she joined the music. She hold the music and play it together. Even I didn't say it. I know she didn't like it in the beginning. I just let her and I said, okay, I know you don't like the song. You don't like the music instrument, but I believe you will try it one time. And I put the music instrument nearby you. So if you like, you can touch it, you can use it, and you can play it. If not, it's okay. I will not push you and I will not be angry to you. And later in 5 minutes, she did it herself. So it was good. So children, sometimes they need time and they want to make it now or later, or they don't want to join at all. So it's up to them. But of course, we cannot say, okay, I postpone this song, I close this class because 2 of them don't enjoy it, for example. But the other 8, they have a right to continue the class with the song or with the material you want to teach about.
Yeah. Yeah. Karena sometimes after we teach a song, now in Indonesia, not all, the material for teaching children, not only for playing, but there is a book that we have to follow for books. And the books now that we use, it's too difficult for them. Then how about that?
Okay, I haven't tried yet with the book because I tried only for kindergarten, and for the young learners, they are only about grammar. So it's nothing to do with the songs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So nothing to do with the song. Sometimes the teaching will not be interesting.
Yeah, I know. Okay. But I think you can try. I mean, it's okay if the feedback was not good, but it's inclusive inside the book. So you need to teach them the song, for example. So it's okay, I think, if you want to teach the song.
Yeah.
Because this is in the material on the book. So you need to try it. You need to know how far is the feedback from your students.
Okay.
Okay, Gana, thank you.
Thank you, Bu Winnie.
Thank you for
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Nice
Thank
to
you for
meet
represent us for all of our curiosity, and I hope that the others also understand the question and the answer. Jadi pertama-tama itu tadi untuk pengajaran lagunya itu cuma alokasi waktunya itu cuma 1,5 jam dengan penggunaan repetisi sekitar 10 kali. Terus juga ada sedikit movement dancing biar yang
seneng ya.
Biar seneng, biar energized juga.
Ya,
terus ada practical toys yang buat menunjukkan katakanlah buah jeruk itu Inggrisnya apa, langsung disebutkan juga di situ. And there is no restriction, nggak ada paksaan ke siswa ke murid-muridnya itu mereka suka apa enggak, mereka boleh bebas kalau tidak suka, tapi ujung-ujungnya mereka juga join lagi. That's interesting, very interesting. So let's moving on to the last two questions. So this one, the sixth one is from Valia Prativi. She asks how to increase confidence in speaking while teaching English.
Okay, thank you, Faria. Greetings to mom. I think she's the daughter, my friend's daughter, Sakila. How to increase confidence in speaking. I started to speak English when I was like junior high school, I think. I like to talk to our mirror, and because I know that I couldn't speak English, but I wanted to. So yeah, it was a little bit shy, and I said, why didn't I try to speak with myself and to know about my gesture, my mimic, my pronunciation, and how I look like. So I always stand up in front of a mirror, and then I need to speak to myself with a mirror almost every day, because I was not really confident to speak with someone else, because I know at the time my English was not just like now, even if my English now is not yet perfect. But this helped me to make my confidence more and more. And of course, I know if my pronunciation good or not, if I say O or A, so I know because through the mirror, we can see how is it look like our mouth or our eyes, our face, for example. And language is practice. Without practice, you can't do that. So the more you do that, so the better you can have your English ability, your skill. And as I told you before, that I joined International NGO, the organization, PKPI, Indonesia International Work Camp. There, I met so many people from all over the world. For example, like from Japan, from America, from the Netherlands, from Germany, from wherever. And this helped me to drill my English, to train my English, because they didn't speak Bahasa Indonesia. So I needed to speak English. So that was why I trained my English, my ability with them. And it's good for you. For example, in Semarang, you have KUI, the university, what you call that, the International Office of UPGRIS. There, I think you have universe. I believe you have so many exchange program with other countries like Philippines or Thailand or wherever. I think you can join them and you can speak English more than you yourself with your mirror. And if you teach English, your confidence, I think it comes from yourself. If you want to be a teacher and if you don't have any confidence, so how can you teach your children, your students? It will be impossible. So first of all, you need to be confident. They are only human. And you can be proud of yourself. You have something to transfer. You have knowledge to be shared. So I think it will help you to be confident in front of your classroom, that you are someone, you have talent, you have information, and your students, they need you. So I believe this will help you to be confident to speak English or to teach English in front of your students in the classroom.
Okay, that was very useful. And I think the main key of having this confidence in and having the confidence in speaking English is basically the only key is that, just like what Agana said, is practice, practice, and practice. So
that's right.
Let's move on to the last question because the time is almost done. Now, this is from Nur Hassana from Yogyakarta, and
Oh,
she greets you, and she asking
hello,
about.
Dorhatana.
I think she is one of your friend. Now, the question that she asks is that how do you encourage children to speak English more in class, especially if they learn English as second language? They tend to be very shy or something like that.
Okay. I don't know which children is it. This is the children at kindergarten, elementary school,
I think it's
senior
referred
high
to the
school.
kindergarten one.
Kindergarten, okay. For kindergarten, as I told you, we use songs. And of course, we need to speak English during the class, during our lesson in the classroom, because then they will be, what you call that? They will get used to listen to English sentences. For example, starting from the greeting itself. Good morning, how are you? What are you doing now? Or do you feel good? Or for example, are you okay? Or what's the matter with you? Or what do you have in your box now as your lunch box? Or goodbye, or thank you for your attention, something like that. So it's only short sentences, but you say it regularly. You say it every time you come or you teach them during the lesson. So I think during this repetition, of course, they will get used to listen to it from you. They will continue it. And during this question, maybe they will have motivation to answer your question. And to encourage children, for example, my children, they speak German and they learn English and they learn also Bahasa Indonesia from me. So I need to drill them in 3 languages. So we have the training. For example, Monday with English and German on Tuesday and Bahasa Indonesia on Wednesday, once in a week. So I will ask them in this language, for example, Bahasa Indonesia, and they need to answer it in Bahasa Indonesia too. So this motivation you can ask to your children too in your classroom. If you speak Bahasa, they need to answer in Bahasa. If you speak in English, they need to speak in English. So small children, usually they can switch directly and easier than adult or senior people. And you need to try it regularly, not only one time, but regularly once in a week. So don't stop to ask them question in English. If your goal is English language, my goal is Bahasa Indonesia, it's quite different. So I guess you don't have to push them, but you can motivate them to speak English. For example, starting from yourself. If you, most of the time you speak English, short sentences, it's not difficult like blah, 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 but only a small sentence like, do you like it? How are you today? This is just simple sentence, English sentences. But I think if they listen to it every week, they listen to what you said maybe 2 times, 3 times in a day, they will get used to listen to it, and they will be motivated to answer them. For me, I try it and I think it was okay for kindergarten and for my children's self. And they also replied in Bahasa Indonesia if I speak Bahasa Indonesia. And later, if I ask them in German, they replied in German too. And yeah, I think most of children, they are shy. They don't have any self-confidence to speak the other language than their mother tongue. So we need to motivate them not to be shy and to be self-confidence.
Okay. And that was the answer from Mbak Gana. I hope that Nur Hasana can grasp all the answer. So that was unfortunately the last question from this session. And first of all, I would like to say thank you to Mbak Gana for the presentation, for the answers, for the knowledge, for everything. And I know that we somehow merebut kebebasan, your freedom to be leisurely in your Saturday.
No, it's fine. It's great. I think it's lovely that I don't need to fly to Indonesia, and during the corona outbreak, we can't do that. And of course, it's a pleasure to share my knowledge, my experiences, and to see everyone here. Thank you for all the time. Thank you for your quotas, because you need your handphone quotas to join this Zoom, of course. Without, you cannot do that.
Okay, thank you. Now, for the conclusion, I'd like to reset something. Now, I will conclude this event in Indonesia so it can be easier to be understood by all of you. So, jadi untuk tips and tricksnya jadi guru, terutama dalam mengajarkan bahasa asing itu tadi yang pertama itu confidence, terus your self motivations, dan terutama itu di kreativitas dan inovasi yang kalian akan gunakan di masa depan untuk mengajarkan ke murid-murid kalian. Dan jangan pernah nge-push murid-murid kalian, karena itu akan menimbulkan sesuatu yang mungkin gak enak untuk didengar atau dipandang atau dilakukan. Nah, tapi lebih baik untuk memotivate mereka untuk bisa belajar bareng dengan kita. Jadi kita menggunakan sistem kekeluargaan di sini. Itu sedikit yang bisa saya ambil dari Mbak Gana, dan that was a very lot of knowledge to be grasped, and I hope that we can all understand it. We can all apply it in our lives as for being the future teacher in our country especially.
Okay, so I have one more information to those who have questions. I will send books to you. I think the committee can ask my mother in Semarang, because I'm in Germany, and later you can distribute to those who already asked questions.
So
I already made photos of that, who already asked me question, and we can talk later.
Okay, so that's a wonderful news for the questionnaires.
So I will
the one who asked.
get one.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
It was a gift for you, sir, for your friendship. So that was a great news for all of those who were asking questions. The 7 of you will get some copies of her books. So you will love it. I know it. You will love it.
And now, here is the place I live. So surrounding is very green. It's very beautiful here. So I really enjoy my pandemic, my corona quarantine. So enjoy your time too, everyone.
Okay. Without further ado, let's move on to the last session. Please don't leave the Zoom yet. Jangan keluar dulu. Kita akan melakukan sesi dokumentasi. Jadi untuk kalian mohon untuk menghidupkan fitur videonya. Kita akan selfie bersama sebagai kenang-kenangan. Silahkan untuk menyalakan fitur-fitur videonya semuanya.
Mutmainah, you don't have? Afida?
There are a lot of who hasn't shared their video. Okay.
Sintana.
Ahmad Taufan, Afif Fahmi, Aisyah Fajri. Please open your video so we can have documentation.
And smile.
and smile, of course. Now, to make it less stressing, let's pose. Mari berpose sebebas-bebasnya kalian, seceria-ceria kalian. Sumbangkan senyum termanis kalian. Oke? Mari kita mulai screenshot. 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih. Next slide. Di slide kedua, seksi dektok siap? Oke, 1, 2, 3. Oke. Di sini ada 6 slide, jadi sabar dulu ya, jangan keluar dulu. Slide ketiga, 1, 2, 3. Oke. Cepat banget ya, nggak kerasa, nggak ada suara cekrek-cekreknya juga. Slide keempat, 1, 2, 3. Oke. Slide kelima, wah di slide kelima nggak pada on video. Wah, mau di skip aja nah. Okay, I think that's enough for the documentation. For those who aren't willing to open their camera, that's okay, that's fine, that's completely appreciable. Now, as the enclosure, I would like to thank you to Mbak Gana and all the participants for having this wonderful webinar and a little bit reunion between Mbak Gana and her friends, of course. That was a beautiful moment. Now,
thank you very much, Pak Nur and Universe.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Mbak Gana.
So now the time is up. Unfortunately, I hope that we can meet again someday. We shall meet again someday. And I wish that we had a lot of time to speak to you, Mbak Gana, so we can share more knowledges about German, about Indonesian, and about the teaching itself. So it's been wonderful. And the time is up. Me, as your moderator, say thank you to all the participants who are willing to join this webinar. Thank you. Hope you are all safe, stay productive, and stay safe. Goodbye, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us. And as a representation of International Office of UPGRIS, Samtrio Purbo signing out.
Thanks, Gana. Nice to meet you.
Pak Priyadi, Pak Nur.
Thank you, Mbak Gana.
Thank you, Mbak Gana. Thank you,
Terima
Mas
kasih,
Samtrio.
Mbak Gana. Terima kasih semuanya yang telah.
Thank you, Pak Supriyadi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Budiman.
Thank you, Budi.
Thank you very much for joining, all of you. Thank you very much for the Universe crew. Very, very great job. Very great job.
Stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay happy, everyone.
Sambung
Terima
lagi
kasih, Mbak Gana.
komunikasinya, Mbak Gana.
Bye. See you next time.
Keep in touch, Mbak Gana ya. Keep in touch.